Hello and welcome to Play Talk Repeat. I'm Oliver and I'm joined by Niall, Alex and Lewis.
Hello.
Hello.
It's time for our video game book club episode. Once a month, one of us chooses a game for the group to play and review, and this month the game is Not for Broadcast, chosen by Niall. Niall, why did you choose the game?
So I chose the game for a couple of reasons. The first reason, I thought it was just really funny. I thought it's a funny old game. I think we'll all probably say it's quite funny. Second reason, multiple choices, multiple endings. I can't remember how many there are. There's some like 18, maybe more different endings. So that's really good for discussion. And also personally, I thought the mini games were actually quite fun. And I thought the gameplay was very Moorish. I remember when I first played it, it's rare where I'm like 3 hours into a session and I'm like, oh, I'll just do one more go, you know. And yeah, I just thought it was also a really interesting. I don't really like FMV games too much. Infectious Madness, Dr. Decker, and Her Story are two which come to mind, and none of them I really gelled with or finished. So this is the first FMV game I actually finished, and yeah, it was one of my. If it came out fully, I think it was in early access in 2012 or 2022. Came out fully in 2024, and yeah, it's one of my highest rated games which came out in 2024 that I played. So yeah.
Cool. So a little bit about the game. It was developed by the very aptly named Not Games and published by Tiny Build. It was released first for Windows in January 2022, like Niall just said, and then for PlayStation, Xbox, and MetaQuest 2 in March 2023. All right.
Oh.
So we're going to do opening statements. We're going to try something different here and not spoil things immediately. So if we could avoid spoilers until we talk about the story later.
And then we're going to have a spoiler section.
We'll have a spoiler section. It will be.
I don't have a jingle for that.
That's exactly.
I need to make one.
That's devastating.
I need to make one. It's not the PCR show, so we're all good. We'll start with Alex this time. Alex, what did you think? What's your opening statement?
Right. So not for broadcast. More like not for me. I didn't like it. I gave it 5 out of 10. I just thought the game just wasn't that fun. Anytime anything was like above like 10 minutes for a broadcast, I groaned. I was like, oh, I've got to actually fucking pay attention to the game. I also hated anytime like the radio waves needed moving. I was always sighing like, oh, for fuck's sake, I've got to do that. I hated the stupid camera rule where I have to change every 10 seconds when there was absolutely no need for the camera to change when it's literally interviewing just one person. I thought some like the voice acting was quite good. Well.
He doesn't understand. He needs to have cuts. Anyway, all right.
I thought all the actors were quite good. I just didn't like the voice at the very start, Dave. It just sounded like they just got some random guy off the street because it was just like, "All right, mate, let's go." You, like, how was this guy?
That was pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. I could do it. That's what I mean. I also didn't like the fact that the game was actually talking to me because the main character was called Alex, and it would be like, "Alex, do this," and it's like, I don't like that. But yeah, I thought the concept was cool, but it was executed very poorly.
Okay, cool. 5 out of 10. The big Lou dog.
I'm trying to find out what I rated it, but How Long to Beat is shit, and I can't see the games in.
See if I can find it.
I can't see it in the order that I played the games, and it's also doing it in point whatever ratings again.
All right, just so give you general thoughts. Niall will find you.
I've got it.
Yeah. What is it?
6
out of 10.
6. Right, yeah, so not for broadcast. So I entirely gave it a 6, based on the fact of the like sheer quality of the game itself. I think that the game is incredibly funny, and I think it's incredibly well acted. Like funny, like the sort of funny where it's like British humor to a T. It's very Monty Python. It's very Blackadder. It's very, very funny. And if you grow up with any of those types of shows, or if you're just a person with like just a very British sense of humor, you're going to enjoy this a lot, I think. The reason I gave it a 6 though, is because as a game, it does nothing for me. A game to me has to have some sort of involvement and engagement from the player, and a considerable amount of it at that, and this game just doesn't. You're sitting there purely just watching. I mean, you're sitting there watching a broadcast. That's in the name of the game. And the game aspect of it is the basically role playing of um, what would you call it? A news editor, I suppose. And essentially, the gameplay loop is you watch the game, you watch the news happening, and it's your job to censor certain things, and basically stop the broadcast from failing as it's going on. And to me, that's just not enough gameplay. The criticism of the voice acting being that you can do it too, therefore it's bad, I don't think makes any sense, really. The voice acting was all very good, the acting was very good. That was definitely the best part about the game, and without that, the game would have failed tremendously. But in terms of being an actual game, I don't know. I don't want to say the game bored me because it didn't. Whenever I was playing it, I did enjoy watching it, but I had to fight the demons to not alt tab and do something else on my other monitor or just do anything else at all, because we're talking 17-minute stretches of watching video where you occasionally press WASD to move the camera and then basically censor a word or move an audio wave. It's just not particularly engaging, at least for me. And for a game, it does nothing for me. But I'm giving it a 6 purely due to the fact that I think the production of the game is very good. And if I was rating this purely as if it was like a TV show or like a video series, web series, it would be very good. It is very funny. It is very enjoyable. But as a game, I just think it suffers quite a bit. So yeah, I gave it a 6.
Cool. I'm going to go next because mine's going to be along the same lines, and I assume Niall's is going to be quite positive. So, first of all, it really stretches what the definition of a video game is, as Lewis has already said. It really is just responding to prompts almost. It's almost like a 7-hour long quick time event. However, I think it does work as like an art piece. Almost, it really does make you look at your own values and your own beliefs while you make, because it's a heavily choice-based game. Yeah, while you're making your choices during the experience. However, that also means that it is fucking depressing at times. It starts off lighthearted enough, but at least on my playthrough, it just got so sad and frustrating as time went on. Like, purely talking from a story point of view, I don't know about you guys, but the politics of this game, it runs a little bit too closely to real life events, and that is not what I put on a video game for. I am massively an escapist, and I do not want to be reminded of the state of the world right now. I'll give it a 6 out of 10, and that is purely because it is something different, and it functionally, it really works as like a TV broadcast simulator. It really does work, and the acting's great, as you've all said. And again, as Lewis said, as I was playing it, I was engaged fully. But I've got to take my own personal enjoyment into account here, and it is a 6 out of 10. Yeah. Definitely. That's higher than I thought I was going to give it at the beginning. Definitely. It pleasantly surprised me, but not enough where it's going to get any higher than that. So we've got a 5 and 2 6s so far. Now hit us with your 9 out of 10.
9.5 out of 10 actually is what I gave it.
Jesus.
And I'll tell you for why. I think one of the key differences, and it's just down to who we are and who this game is for. I was fully invested in the role play side of it immediately. Like, every single decision I was making as if I was in the game making those choices, and that made every consequence of those choices even more meaningful. So like the first playthrough which I did, my entire focus was on trying to be as neutral as possible whilst trying to gain as much as I can for myself. So I was very very keen in making sure that I was earning the most amount of money I could, that my family was the most well looked after, and then I'd keep my job. And towing that line with all the choices that the game gives you makes it really difficult, and makes every choice matter so much, because the game constantly tries to funnel you down either one extreme or the other, and trying to maintain the middle and trying to keep everyone happy is actually a really interesting puzzle to try and solve. That led me to, I think, one of the worst endings in the game initially. But yeah, and stuff like, for example, moving the camera around, like because I was role playing to want to do the best of my job possible and make the most of our money, I was like fixated on making sure that I was doing the best possible broadcast. So like I was looking at all 4 cameras, like what will be the best shot right now. Like I was actually making that decision as if like someone in real life was watching what I was doing to like evaluate me. So with that, with the what I think is probably the best mini game with the rhythm game with whenever there was the musicals on, I was even making decisions as to where I should put my advertisements in what slot to make sure that the company which I invested stocks in was going to get the most amount of money, because I knew that I always did better at the second part of the show out of the 3 parts. So I was like, right, I'll put my crazy Niall's deals, whatever it was, on second, because that's who I put stocks in. And that sort of thing. So it felt constantly all the choices mattered. And when I read up about the game afterwards, and I did follow a guide for the second playthrough because I wanted to make sure I had a different ending. There's a lot of stock put into choices you make at home as well. Like those actually affect the day. And so, yeah, I was all invested in. I basically was the character the entire time. That made I think the game a lot better compared to what maybe you guys experienced. So that's why I gave it a 9.5 out of 10.
Have we got an average?
6.625, the classic.
Classic.
score.
Right. Okay.
Followed by a burp, straight on the air.
I'm sorry.
Fantastic. So I'm going to explain a little bit about the gameplay because it is quite hard to understand from the video that is currently being shown on the on the podcast. So you've got 4 screens on your left there. Those are all the different streams from the studio itself, and basically what you have to do is make sure you're on the correct screen for whoever's speaking at the time, but you also can't remain on there for too long or else the audience get bored. So you've got to switch back for reaction shots, switch to wide shots, all that kind of stuff. In the middle you see there's a censor button. You censor at first, you start censoring swear words and stuff like that, and then on the right you can change what broadcast is coming through. There's also other things as well. I by default play on the easiest difficulty for every game that I play, which took away a lot of the things you're supposed to do. I'm interested to hear about those. I know. So I had the bear one, without again going into spoilers. I had the bear one, but it didn't affect anything. The tower zapped itself, and the bears, I could just leave them there and it wouldn't affect anything. And I know about the fan one. Was there any more?
Lightning hitting the buttons and then you'd get shocked.
I think that was in the
You got
same
that.
segment as the bear one, right? Because I was during that.
I'm just trying to think of
sequence.
different ones.
I can't think of any others.
The power
honestly.
going out. Power going out
Yeah,
on
no,
some of them.
Oh,
You had to. You
and
didn't-
you can't see the certain cameras at certain points, even though you might need to switch to them.
Yeah,
yeah, that was about it, really.
yeah.
Fair play. So the fan one, does that go on forever, or is it just for the heatwave day?
It's just for the heat wave.
Just for heatwave.
Okay, interesting. So I didn't miss too much then, I don't think.
No.
Oh, so was there any parts of the... So obviously Niall likes all of it, we know that. Was there any parts of the gameplay that you actually liked, fellas?
For me, not really. No, like I said, in terms of like actual just gameplay, no. Like it boiled down to watching video 90% of the time with me. I mean, I guess, and even then, the only part I maybe liked even a little bit was like the visual novel aspect, where you just got to sort of read what the characters were doing in between the broadcasts, and you got to make decisions. That was probably my most enjoyed part of the game from like a gameplay perspective. And even then, all that was doing was reading and then pressing a button.
Without spoiling anything, were you going down like one particular avenue of like the 2 sides? Was that affecting what you were doing in the mini games? Because I think even then, if you're not super interested in the gameplay, like making those decisions would be at least interesting.
I immediately chose a side from the beginning.
Yeah, I thought you would.
Yeah, I also did choose a side, to be fair. Like what? Yeah, I definitely like went down one avenue.
I did not.
You didn't. Alex, it's all over the place. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, mine was all over the place. Well, for me anyway, for your question, Oliver, I didn't like any of it. I felt like I was trying to watch something, but then it would take away from the experience, and then I'd miss stuff. So I'd like try and piece together what I missed while I was doing like the radio waves, and then having to like swap the cameras as well. I felt like it just took away from that part of the game.
Yeah, they try to mitigate that in the beginning, like especially for the censoring, because they basically tell you, they say, you know, do it by audio, do it by listening, rather than looking for it. You're actually going to miss shit.
Yeah, did you guys all, speaking of missing stuff, use the feature where you get to watch it all back and also watch feeds which you couldn't see?
Yeah, I did it for the first 2 and realized that if I did it for the entire game, the game was going to take like 30 hours.
It would double in length at least.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, it was fun. Like I did enjoy it, but I realized that it would have taken ages. Which, if you're really, really into it, it's like a gold mine because there is so much extra. Yeah, so much extra content there for you. But for a standard playthrough, yeah, it would have doubled, potentially tripled your playtime. So it's one of those things where I opted out of it early on. But I did give it a go. And it was nice seeing it because there really is so, like, realistically, if you're just playing the game, you are missing out on like 40%, maybe 50% of the stuff they filmed.
Yeah.
Because there's so much of it that you can't see. Because, for example, some of the tapes are what's going on in the news studio while they're off somewhere else, and what you're seeing on screen is maybe off in a different part of England talking about something else, but they're still talking in the studio, and you can actually listen to that back and see what they were saying and stuff. So it's almost like a commentary, like a director's commentary on what's happening. It's just it is very interesting, but yeah, it'd be very time consuming to listen to it all. But it is a very good feature.
As an example of that, so just talking about the one that the game basically tells you to do at the beginning. At one point, you're interviewing a director of a film or an actor. I can't remember what it was, and he when you cut away to watch the trailer of the movie, he's still talking in the studio, and you can see that he's absolutely losing his shit, effing and jeffing. So like you say, it's very interesting, those things, but it's just I wasn't gonna do it every day like you, Lewis.
Yeah, no.
All right, cool. Is there anything else someone wants to talk about before we get onto story?
Not particularly.
Yeah, no, mainly the story that I want to speak about, to be honest.
Okay, cracking. Oh, so anyone who doesn't want any path spoiled, I'd heavily suggest going to the 20 questions timestamp, because that is when we'll essentially stop talking about this. Right.
Oh, yeah, Liz picked a game.
It's
I will say that.
It's me, and I've had the game for months.
Okay, cool.
Right. So, first of all, let's ask the most basic question: which side did you support on your first playthrough? Neither.
Okay.
Lewis.
I supported. See, this is why I should have wrote stuff down.
What was it? The government, or was it the other one?
The other one. I can't remember what they were called.
Disrupt.
Disrupt. Yes. Disrupt. Yes.
Disrupt all the way. As soon as I saw that first interview with the government, I thought, nah. Disrupt all the way, straight away.
Yeah, that's basically what I did.
Yeah. So I don't understand how you could stay neutral. I don't, because there are decisions you've got to choose one or the other, surely.
Yeah, so for me,
between them.
Yeah, so literally that's what I did. So like, if there were times where I felt like I don't know whether you would ever get fired, but there are times where it's like the game is telling me I will get fired if I don't do this, then I will do it. But like, for example, choice I was make, so I would if I could avoid playing a what's it called? What was the government party called? Advance.
I was going to say Advance. I was going to say Avalanche.
Avalanche. If I could avoid playing
an
Advance advert, I would. If I had to play one, I'd play it at my worst slot. If I had to censor stuff when it got to the point where they were censoring the shows, it would completely depend on the context of the situation, where I thought it was worth doing or not. For the disrupt radio waves, I never did it apart from the events where they needed the sign to go ahead. Oh no, that wasn't the censoring. That was the censoring where you had to censor specific words to go ahead with the attack. I'm pretty sure I did the radio frequency at one point, but more often than not, I barely touched it.
Yeah, so that bit in particular really fucked with me, because I was from the beginning. Apart from swear words, obviously, you shouldn't censor the news at all. So when Disrupt asked me to do it, that was a big conundrum for me. I did do it in the end because I did want them to succeed. But yeah, I didn't censor any of Advance's stuff ever. because that would be ridiculous.
I was kind of the same. At the start, I'd say up to like the third broadcast, or at least initially, when it tells you about censor and stuff, I was doing it because like Niall said, I was just doing what I was told.
Yeah.
Because I was worried about the repercussions that it would have on the character and the job and stuff. Because I was worried you could get fired or something like that would happen. So I was very much doing it by the book, and whatever they said, regardless of if I agreed with it or not, I was just doing it. But I'd say about halfway through the game, maybe 2/3 of the way through the game, I just started letting everything run. Like I just stopped censoring any of it.
Yeah.
Because it really got to a point, at least for me, in the role play aspect of the game, I got to a point where I was like, "Fuck you guys!" I was like, "I don't care if I lose my job." I was like, I was like, "This is the news. I'm letting it run. I'm letting it happen." And I thought the game was more interesting like that. And I also just like how it encourages you to make your own decision. I do think that is fun. But yeah, that's basically what I ended up doing.
Yeah, so this line of conversation, it kind of highlights a little bit of a problem I had with the game, and it wasn't very clear as to what you could ignore and what you couldn't ignore. No. And when you get towards the back half of the game, and you're in charge of like the other simulated like the camera crowd noises. So at one point, I was just booing whenever Advance was mentioned.
Yes,
and I was getting knocked out. Like the ratings were going down and down and down because that's one of the things you can't do unless it specifically tells you that you can. Which is mad. Like, why give you that agency if you can't, do what you want to do? But just to answer all you, because I think you've all mentioned it at some point, you can't be fired. What the things that I did, especially towards the end of the game, the only way you can fail is by losing the audience. That's it.
Yeah.
You can basically do what you want.
Yeah. I thought it was really interesting. Like I always thought that you could get fired, but like specifically when it came to Disrupt wanting to send the signal, I remember that I was not doing some of their stuff, so I had like plausible deniability, and that came up in the conversation later with the boss because it was like, oh, you did this, but like then because I didn't do all of it, I had like an option to reply being like, oh yeah, that was just by accident, but if I did do all of what they said, then that would be a bit sus, which I thought was quite cool.
That is cool, but I also got that line where you could basically say it was by accident. I can't remember if I said that or not, but I did everything. I let every broadcast.
I just kept saying like it's the news. We're here to deliver the news. We're not here to censor. It was those sort of options that I was choosing.
Yeah,
I never directly said, "Oh no, it was an accident." I just kept saying I did what I thought was right. Blah 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 blah. Because I mean, That's
interesting, actually. Did you guys? I know we're getting to the weeds, but did you guys get invited to the ball or like the presentation?
Oh, yeah.
That's sad. I thought you wouldn't because, like, I thought I was proper like toadying up to the boss, so that's why I got invited.
No, I seemed quite friendly with the boss when I thought my character wouldn't be, because I felt like I was doing everything to piss him off, that he just wouldn't like me. But it seemed like I was quite close with the boss in terms of the relationship.
So that boss, every interaction with him is very, very well written, because you are made to think at the beginning that guy is a bastard, and he's not at all.
He's not.
But towards the end of the game, you start to actually resonate with him. It's like he was just doing what he was told, but in the end, he was like, I think he said something at the end, it's like, just do whatever the fuck you want, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is
the turning point for me, I thought it was really well timed, was because of my actions. I don't know if it happened with you guys, but one of my kids died.
Yeah, I lost one.
Both of mine died.
Both of yours died. Only one of mine died. So that's when
mine died.
And that's when Disrupt started really, like, that's when the whole operation happened with Disrupt, and that's why I was more inclined to do it. Yeah. I was like, I need to do something now.
But I assume so. Was it the daughter for you and Alex?
Yeah, the one that went traveling.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm assuming the only way to stop that from happening was to not give her the money to go.
Yes,
I think
that's
so.
yes.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
that's-
my brother-in-law died as well
Yeah.
because
Oh,
I
yeah,
gave
mine
him I
did.
gave him the passport or the
But
ID or
you
whatever.
gave
Yeah,
it to him. I told him to fuck
I
off.
I gave him the passport.
I was too worried. I would, because I was thinking real life, and I was like, I would not give someone my fucking passport because I get fucking arrested, man. So it would come back to bite me, and I was like, fuck you, no.
Hey, you don't get arrested.
So yeah, he was fine. He was chilling. He hated me for a bit, and then he was happy again.
At least he's
Amazing.
alive.
I was very much a happy wife, happy life kind of guy in the game, so I
Yeah, that's
basically
what I was
just
like.
did whatever she asked.
Did you take the mum out back and shoot her? Did you put her down?
Oh man, yeah, that was it.
What?
That was awful. You send her to the fucking centers. What's it called? What they called?
The relief centers
Yeah,
where
like,
it kills.
yeah,
Oh,
the end of
right.
life centers. Like, oh, we can't afford to keep her. Let's kill her. What?
Yeah.
I did not get this.
This is my biggest issue with Advance. The fact because the thing is, again, this is really close to what's happening in the world right now. They brought out, so to stop like overpopulation and stuff like that. First of all, they brought out these centers where you could basically send old and ill people, or you could volunteer to go, and you could end your life in luxury and all that kind of stuff. But it was very much, we get to a point in the game where you didn't have a choice really. Like you had to, you had no money. You had to send your old mother to die at one of these centers.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it was horrible. It's fucking horrible game. It is horrible.
Yeah. I banished her.
Yeah, but
I
yeah.
said in a book.
So yeah, my daughter died in the bombings, and my son died because he was a disrupt activist, and he got sent.
Oh, really?
He got
Oh.
yeah. So assuming you guys went the other way, and you
Yeah,
it
advance.
was in advance. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I didn't want that. So you don't do that, then he becomes a disrupt activist. I think I supported him in doing it at one point. He got sent to a. He got sent to a one of the centers. I can't remember what they're called, the behavioral centers, and he died of natural causes of 2 bullets to the back of the fucking head while he was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So by the end of the game, I was just so fucking depressed. It was horrible.
Happy wife, happy life, but your 2 kids are dead.
The wife was alive. The wife was alive.
Yeah, well, there you go.
She wasn't happy.
So-
She was an alcoholic, but she was alive.
She's an alcoholic as well.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, he's fucked up.
yeah. This is what happens when you go full disrupt.
Going back to what I was saying before with stocks, what did you put your stocks into? What
I
businesses?
do not
Crazy
remember.
Niels.
I don't.
Crazy Niels.
I kept thinking about it. I might have done Crazy Niels just because it was funny because of the name, but I don't remember because it didn't. I mean, as far as I know, it might have been, but it didn't feel like it ended up being relevant whatsoever to the story, like to anything that I did. Like I chose it at the start, and then
I was broadcast
you got
poor
more
throughout,
money.
almost all of it.
I was broadcast
same.
poor.
No.
I declined. I got really rich, and then I just went to broadcast poor.
Yeah, so I think I was just like mine was barely breaking even the whole time. That's what
Right,
mine was.
okay.
Because
I didn't know that
Crazy
affected
Niels.
anything. I think I chose Crazy Niels, and then it was literally just like I just pulled random tapes in.
Yeah, no, it's just a little matter of just picking the right tape. And like Niall said, if you put it in the second one, because they tell you at one point that's the most that's the most profitable one.
Yeah,
You're supposed to get more money. I think I got like debt barely manageable. I think that's as high as I got. I was never well off ever.
I forgot to put the tapes in once.
Damn, I just forgot.
I just forgot.
We can go through some key things which set you on different paths. So first of all, question: Did what's it called, Jeremy? Did Jeremy live in any of yours?
No.
No.
He got blasted, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He
basically,
got gunned down.
That was one of my favorite parts of the game.
He killed himself in mine.
yeah, same in mine as well.
Yeah.
So if you play the advert when she suggests to, like as soon as she says it, I think before the timer's even up, then he will live. And that's what gets you towards.
The problem was I was too curious. I wanted to know what would happen behind the scenes, and I was like, I'm just gonna let this keep going.
When Jeremy shot himself, I was like actually devastated because he was one of my.
Oh, he didn't shoot himself in mine. He got absolutely gunned down by all the police and just got wiped out.
That's interesting, that because he can live. Even if he lives, he goes to one of the behavioral centers.
Yeah.
I can't remember if he dies in there or not. But
Oh, so there's a couple of like good endings, which aren't really good endings. Where one is he's fully back on the broadcast, and the other one they invite him back, and he's kind of like a broken puppy, essentially, which is pretty sad. But yeah, so the other one was what's the guy called that died, and then became a woman?
Yeah, Patrick. He is my favorite character. He is my favorite character in the game, like, by far. I thought that was the funniest bit. Like that was actually like comedy gold.
Yeah, so he can also live. I didn't see how he did that, how he could do that, but he can also live. But that was really funny.
I would imagine because the reason he got banished is because I left him uncensored when he was slagging off Julia Salisbury, and I let it play, and that's what got him banished. I assume if you censor that broadcast while he's speaking, he probably lives, or he probably carries on doing it because they'd have no reason to get rid of him. But yeah, he got banished. He got turned into a woman.
For me, he just got mauled, I think, during one of the rallies, and then the woman assumed him at the same time.
Yeah,
Right.
he just dies off camera. Like you assume he dies, he doesn't never actually say it.
Yeah, definitely got.
Yeah, he can live. I don't know how he lives, but yeah. In one of the endings I watched, he has a sick tan. So there you go. In one reality, he lives.
Been on holiday.
Yeah.
No, I just think he was the funniest character. Every scene he was in was actually making me like laugh like really hard. My favorite one was when he during what even was it? During the bear
The
attack,
bear in the shower.
when he's in his shower, pretending that he was outside doing the broadcast, and then he revealed he was actually sat in his bathroom, and then the bears started attacking. It was just him in his shower screaming that they were coming, and you were watching them slowly come in one by one. It was just really dumb.
I would have loved to seen the footage without the bears. It would have been quite funny.
And that whole segment at the start, because it kept reminding me of this one TikTok, which if you haven't seen it, you're not going to know what I'm talking about. But at the start, there's this part where he's at a tournament with the ping pong ball, and it's
sports
just
board.
Yes, and it's a completely made up game that doesn't make any sense. But there is a TikTok exactly like that where two guys are sat at a desk and they pull out random shit and say like this beats this and this beats that, and then everyone like cheers, and then they walk off, and then someone will come back and they'll be like, oh, he's about to do the crocodile spin technique, and I'll put like a toy crocodile on the desk and spin it around, and everyone will be like, no way, and then someone will do something like, oh my god, he counted the crocodile spin, and it reminded me exactly. It was like a 20-minute version of just that, and it was just really fucking good. Like I said, I've already said it like multiple times in this podcast, but the comedy was spot on. Like it is a very funny game.
I think the goal of the game was to not throw the ball in the bin. I believe that was the goal.
And then he literally just like threw it in, and one point he just went, "Oh, why have I done that?"
Yeah, it's good. Right, we're getting up to like 30 minutes now, so I just want to quickly talk about what ending we got.
Okay, so I'll go. So yeah, so the one which I watched the guide for, it was just Thingy was locked up, but the woman, what's she called again? Julia. Yeah, she was locked up, but she was on the verge of getting released. The point of the ending was that the cycle continues, kind of thing. Like she wasn't actually charged with the assassination of the Nigel Farage, like I forgot what he's called. You know the guy that drank a lot.
Yeah,
actually, reminded a bit more of Jeremy Clarkson,
the other prime minister.
Yeah. But yeah, like the point was that the newsroom goes on. There was like sort of minimal deaths, and that was sort of the happy ending. But the one which I did first time around, the entire country and what I could tell, most of the world was just completely fucked. And the final broadcast was being done from a shelter, and the surrounding areas had no power for the last 3 weeks, and it was being done by the woman, which I can't remember the name of again, the woman anchor. So that was mine. So it was pretty much like I created like a Fallout universe. That was my ending.
Cracking.
Brilliant.
Alex.
Yes.
Mine was really annoying because I wanted to be a bastard right at the end because I didn't like the Prime Minister woman. I can't remember what she was called, but she was going to become like, oh yeah, that's what she was called. She's that irrelevant that I hated her. That she was going to become like the news anchor for some reason. But I was like, nah, fuck her. But he wouldn't let me play the tape. So then she just became the news anchor, And I was like,
wouldn't
this ending's absolutely dog water.
It wouldn't let you play it.
It wouldn't let me play it. I tried playing it, and it didn't. It was like, right, play the tape now, and I tried doing it, and it would. I don't know if there was something wrong with the game. I don't know.
Sounds
But
like,
I tried
sounds
doing
like
it, and I was
user error to me.
What was the situation in which you needed to play the tape? Was it?
I can't remember.
I think I know. I think I know what tape he's
No,
talking about.
I think I know what he's talking about. But the way he explained it made it sound like the situation was different from what happened. On
Yeah,
mine.
it seems like if you played if it's the same tape as I'm talking about, the tape would have.
Like either way, she dies, as far as I understand. Even if you play the tape.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't.
Right, Lewis, what's your ending?
So my ending was Disrupt came into the studio. So it was very much Julia was on the path of announcing that she was taking over the studio and she was going to become the new anchor. Yeah. And Disrupt come in, and what's he called?
Alan.
Is he the Disrupt?
Yeah,
the Disrupt main fella.
Yeah.
He basically takes them all hostage, and basically. He has them all hostage. He's got a gun on him, and he basically kills one of them. And then he's like, "Right, blah blah blah, do this." And then something comes to light as Julia is talking about something, and she's about to say something, and Alan basically tells her to shut up. And then you get the option to either play this tape that Julia is talking about, that's clearly going to reveal something about Disrupt, or not play it. And Disrupt end up being fine. So I chose not to play it, which immediately caused Alan to shoot Julia in the face, like immediately, followed by him blowing himself up. So
before my ending, he shot her but didn't blow himself up.
Right. Okay. Yeah. He blew himself up for me.
I got the exact same ending as Lewis, but it was suicide bombing, so everyone in the studio died.
Yes. Everyone died.
Including potentially the character. It's not revealed whether Alex, the character.
Oh, so you didn't have like a final FMV video at the end after that, or did you?
I did the epilogue, but it was nothing to do with anything at all. It was just a silly TV show.
Yeah, I was confused by that. Yeah, it was just like a weird. It wasn't even a clown. It was just like a guy dancing around.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Wacky Funhouse something.
Mine was a new intro to the news, and it had Julia on it, and I was like, I fucking hate this ending.
But the main reason I played the tape, or what swayed me, or one of the big things, is because he was like, play the tape or I'm going to shoot the news anchor woman, but not the main one, not Megan. It was the blonde one. It was
the assistant,
yeah. And I was like, I don't want her to die, but I'm pretty sure he killed her anyway. So
he bombed everyone.
Yeah.
Before bombing her, I'm pretty sure he killed. I'm pretty sure he shot her.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter anyway. But that was one of the things that swayed me, because I was like, she doesn't deserve to die for no reason. Obviously, it didn't matter because everyone died, but yeah, that was one of the things that swayed me in the moment.
Okay.
But I was also on the Disrupt, like I'd been like so Disrupt to that point anyway that I wasn't gonna like.
Yeah, you weren't gonna throw under the bus at the last minute. I was the same. I am curious as to what was on the tape, but
I can't remember what it was. I definitely played it, but I can't remember what the tape was.
Yeah.
Alan clearly didn't want you to play it. He was very adamant about not doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's what got him to not blow up.
We're gonna have to move on. So just to clarify, we gave, was it a 6 point?
6.
Sorry, I remember what was on the tape.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, sorry. It was the reason why Julie wanted to play it is because there were 4 world leaders who were behind Disrupt.
Really?
They were the ones like puppeting Alan, but Alan didn't know, and they were like saying how much of like a doofus he is essentially. So then that was pretty much it. And so at the end, he was just like shocked about what he saw. He was pretty heartbroken. And then I'm pretty sure right before he got tackled to the ground, he shot Julia. And that was it. So there you go.
To be fair to him, he is a doofus, and the fact that the world leaders were behind Disrupt actually makes me feel a little bit better about Disrupt, because why wouldn't they be? You know what I mean? They bombed half the fucking world. Anyway, right. So what was Alex?
6.65.
6.65. Cracking. Right, we're gonna move on to 20 questions for the next game, which we picked by me. I'll get the.
What are you getting up?
I'm getting the wiki up.
Okay, I'll get the notepad up.
Please do.
Right.
Right.
Shall we start with Lewis?
We should.
We'll
can
get the ums and ahs out the way.
Did your video game release in the past?
Yes.
Shut up. In the past 6 years?
No.
Oh,
So older.
It is old.
could be 7. Could be 7.
Could be.
Could be.
Yeah.
So is it me now?
There's...
Go for it.
So what was his last one? Was it Celeste?
Yes.
No, Call
Yeah.
of the Lamb.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Damn.
okay, cool.
So, right. And was he still torn between another one? Or was that between Celeste and Cult? Okay, so it's not anymore. So this is a fresh one. Fresh one. Is it a platformer?
It is one of the genres. Yes.
Okay.
Trust him. Is the game 2D?
Yes.
Is the game part of a franchise?
It is. You're gonna get this.
2D platformer franchise.
Hmm.
Shall we ask the Nintendo question?
It can't be. We've been through them all, surely, at this point. Is there more?
I mean, there might be. Is it pixel art?
It is not.
Oh my god. I thought it was going to be for sure, yes. Interesting. Could be one of the Rayman games.
No. Oh. It could. Hmm. That's a really good shout.
Does Rayman have any other genres apart from platformer? Could it be a puzzle platformer or a shooty platformer?
Rayman Raven Rabbit
No.
is not a platformer.
Okay.
So
I had that game.
They could
It
have
was
said it's
great.
one.
I loved it.
Okay, it said it was one of the genres, so it's probably a dual genre type game, strand type game.
Is it an indie game?
it's not Rayman, okay.
I
I thought that was a good shout, but
I wouldn't say so. No.
No.
part of a franchise.
Now might show me for my answer on that one, but I'm just going off one thing.
I think that's a good question. That's a good question. Does it have an icon? Would you say that the game has an iconic main character?
Iconic is a subjective term, isn't it?
Exactly. So, in your opinion,
In my opinion, no.
okay.
I would not say so.
I've got an idea.
I have an
Alright.
idea.
Right, both of you.
Yeah, I've got an idea.
I've got nothing.
So,
an idea.
because of the franchise comment which you just said, I'm thinking could be either Limbo or Inside, because those are part of a franchise, I would say, and the 2D platformers, but they're also puzzle as well. So, is it horror themed?
No.
Okay, never mind.
Well, never
No,
mind. Yeah.
What was Alex's idea?
So, my idea is Guacamelee.
He does love Guacamelee.
What we thinking?
Is that not pixel art, Guacamelee? Is it not?
No, it's not.
I don't know.
And he absolutely loves
I don't know.
Guacamelee as well.
I don't know anything about it, so I don't know how to ask around it. That's why I asked indie game.
He's a Guacamelee head.
Yeah, he loves the second one.
Are you looking at my how long to be right now, Niall?
No.
You just know because you're a Guacamelee
Wait,
head.
I've got a question. Is there 2 games in the franchise?
Yes.
I mean, Guacamelee does have 2 games, but I don't think it could be Guacamelee. I mean, it could be. It's possible.
Well, he said that Niall's going to be annoyed at me for this, but it's literally Guacamelee 1 and 2.
No, but I think you're saying about indie game.
Yeah, that was about
No.
that was about the indie game question.
Oh, right. I thought it was about franchise. Never mind. I don't know about
Almost.
Guacamelee. This is question 9. So far, we've got it's a 2D platformer in a franchise, and it's a 2-game franchise.
I think we should probably try and pin down when it came out.
When
You
did
know when
Guacamelee
Guacamelee came
come
out?
out? Was it like 2014 or something? I don't know.
2012,
6 years ago.
probably somewhere around there. Did it release between the years of 2010 and 2015?
Are they both year inclusive?
What does that mean?
Are
Like,
you
2010 and 2015.
including both 2010 and 2015 in there?
oh, yes.
Then
Yeah.
yes, it did.
So it's either 2010 or 2015.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. So pinned it down to 2010 or 2015. That's good. That's helpful.
That's
We've got it
true.
down to 2 years, and it's a platform as part of a franchise.
A 2-game franchise. 2D.
I'm racking my brain. I'm trying to think.
You've got this.
Not pixel
This
art.
is possibly the most successful 20 questions we've had. You've got this. I fully believe in you.
Is the other genre puzzle?
No.
Probably adventure. Fucking adventure.
I don't know what you're doing, Guacamelee. That's the problem. I just know Oliver loves it.
I'll just ask if it's Guacamelee, then we can move on. It's going to be... No, it's not.
Well,
It's going to be
it's it.
Cuphead, but Cuphead was 2017.
Yeah.
That was that long ago.
I
Yeah.
believe so.
Jesus.
Should I just throw out my guess?
You guess Guacamelee.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is that your guess?
Oliver, is it Guacamelee?
No, it is not Guacamelee.
Oh.
It would have been a cracking suggestion,
Uh,
though, but no.
Alright, we can rule that out then.
I was putting all my hopes on Guacamelee, and now it's not a thing.
what the fuck came out in 2015?
Should we ask if it's got on Game Pass? We haven't done the Game Pass question yet.
No, nah, I don't think we can save it. I don't think it's worth wasting it yet. Because it's realistically probably is on Game Pass or some sort of platform. Because it just that it tends to be the stipulation for these games, unless it's like a. No, it wouldn't be. I'm gonna say unless it's like an emulated type game, unless it's like a. But like there'd be nothing for 2010, 2015. I mean, I think it could be unless it's like a DS game or something. What can help pin it down more? We've got the date. We've got the genre. The main character's not iconic.
Can you think of any platformers which came out in 2015?
That's what I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to think of like franchises and platforms from around that time.
Yeah. It's smelling more like a 2015 than a 2010, in my opinion.
2015 type game. I'm gonna ask. I might waste a question.
How many questions you got left?
Actually,
We
yeah,
have got
how many
8
have I got
questions left.
Did it come out in 2015?
Yes, it did. You are not allowed to look at a list of games that come out in 2015.
No, I'm not going to. I don't want to be stuck between 2010 and 2015 because they're vastly different.
Right. So we need to think about stuff that came out in 2015.
Yeah, so you don't want to think too old. You don't want to go crazy.
Why didn't we think it could be Rayman?
Because Rayman's iconic as a character.
There's 2 games in the franchise. There's...
Oh, yeah.
But the main thing is, I said, do you think the main character's iconic? He said no. Rayman is iconic.
Unless we're counting Rayman Origins and Legends as...
Then no, it's a
That's
Rayman.
separate.
That isn't
Yeah.
separate Rayman. And also, Rayman's iconic.
Yeah.
It'd be insane for someone to say Rayman isn't an iconic.
I would say that Rayman is an iconic character.
Yeah.
What came out in 10 years ago? Because that means it was on the PS3. Well, it didn't have to be. Sorry, PS3.
Well,
PS4, Xbox One, 3DS,
Wii U.
Wii U. Yeah, Wii U is it's basically PS4 and Xbox.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of the consoles
What
at
is
the time.
PS4, Xbox, DS?
It would be 3DS.
Well, yeah, 3DS. But it's something that came out online. The thing is that when he
Should
says
we ask
that,
if it's exclusive?
when he said that it's a 2-game franchise, it doesn't necessarily mean these games even came out close. The first game could have come out in 2001.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
second game could have come out in 2000. Like, you need to also not think of it as games that came out.
But surely it's the first one.
It could be a stray. Maybe the second one's better.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't know. We need to ask.
Do you play as a human?
You do not.
Is that an animal type boot?
Yeah. I bet Alice
Um,
played this.
Who knows? I don't know.
Years ago, 2015.
Was the game exclusive to one console?
So I'll give you a little bit of help here. When it came out, yes, it was exclusive to one console.
Right. Okay.
When it initially came out.
That makes it
so
sound
it's
like
been-
a DS
Does that
game.
mean that it could also be PC?
A 2D plat?
2D platformer that
It could have
was exclusive.
Would it have been on PC? That's a good.
Wait.
He's
Maybe not
thinking-
2015, maybe 2010, maybe Super Meat Boy. Oh no, wait,
No,
no.
it's
Yeah, Super Meat Boy.
2015.
Yeah,
you,
it's
you have
2015,
already
but-
asked which year it was released in.
Right,
Also,
ignore me.
It's 2015 now.
Ignore me.
I was thinking Super Meat Boy at some point earlier in the thing.
I was as well.
Um.
It was when it was 2010 or 2015.
Yeah. Now I made a good point. Is it could have been it could have just come out on PC first. It doesn't necessarily mean it was on PlayStation or whatever.
Yeah, it was definitely exclusive to one console. It made that very clear.
Yeah.
So
I will
it could be
clarify,
PC.
on its release date, only one of the consoles it was on. Sorry, I yoded there.
Yeah.
It was only on one console on its initial release date.
Yeah, so it could have also initially released on PC.
on PC.
I am not saying that is not the case.
What not?
Right. I'm.
Fan type game.
I think
That was the manga.
Yes.
right. Part of me is saying that it would have been Xbox that it released on if it released on Steam, because PC and Xbox games, because of Microsoft, usually tend to go hand in hand. But at the same time, Microsoft don't have any exclusives whatsoever. So them dropping a game that would come out purely on Xbox but not PlayStation, and it's a 2D platformer, does not seem logical to me. Because sure, I feel like I'd remember a 2D platformer Xbox exclusive, essentially. And I know it's not exclusive, but at the time it technically kind of was. And I, for the life of me, can't imagine Microsoft having anything like that. So it's making me lean more towards PlayStation.
On Nintendo.
Was there a Nintendo console? Oh, they Wii U, I guess.
I can't think of a 2D platform that came out on the Wii U though. That was like an exclusive.
I mean, most stuff which came on the Wii U was exclusive, right? The thing
but
was that
this-
they were shit third party.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think that's like something that's been like re-released on Switch.
Would you like another bone to be thrown at you?
I don't know. I don't know if I
In-
want to too easily. Whose turn?
Oh.
is it?
I'm pretty sure it's you, Lewis.
Yeah, exclusive to one console. Yes, it's you.
That was
next.
me.
Yeah.
Um,
Splunky, that came out before 2015, didn't it? And Oliver
There is
wouldn't make
two
us play that.
games.
There is two
Spelunky.
games.
Flunky 2 came out in like 2020.
Yeah, right. That's just it's
Yeah.
platformers.
Came out in what 2015.
Well, I don't know.
I swear, Splunky 1 came out in 2015.
So this is it. We can think of a bunch of games which have a platformers and have two games in the series. Surely we can do that.
I'm very surprised if Oliver chose Spelunky.
I don't know when it came out, and yeah, I would not want to play Spelunky.
In my head, Spelunky came out in like 2013 because I remember Northern Light,
came-
like the NLS Super Show. I remember them playing Spelunky a lot, so I'm just thinking of to that, to be honest. I just feel like he wouldn't choose Spelunky.
No, I don't think so either.
Um,
The M Plus games, how many were they? That's a bit of an odd one, actually, isn't it? I don't know. That could have been exclusive to Xbox because of the XBLA.
Yeah, it could have been. Trying to think of a question that will actually get us somewhere. That isn't just a complete waste of a question.
How many actual Wario platformers are there?
Oh,
Wario?
2D.
Loads.
Okay.
There's like 10.
And it's not, and again, it's not an iconic character.
You think I'd put his
Oh, and it's
another
definitely
Wario game? I wouldn't.
Yeah, and it's definitely not indie either.
Wait, so it's part of a franchise. So that's the last game that came out, really. Oh no, because it might have... No, because it could be the first one he's making us play. For all I know, a sequel came out yesterday for whatever this game is. Like I'm.
I don't know when the sequel came out.
I'm gonna. Oh. Does. No, sorry, I haven't. I have nothing. Sorry, I have nothing.
Right.
Yeah, it does. Oh no, right. Okay, is your main? Wait, we haven't specifically said whether or not he's an animal. Is your main character an animal? Because he's not human. Is he an animal?
I'm gonna actually say. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say it's not an animal, but it is difficult.
It's a creature. It's a dubious creature.
But Cuphead definitely came out not 2015, right?
It's not Cuphead.
And
Because Cuphead isn't
Cuphead
classed
2
as a platformer.
And there's a sequel.
And Cuphead 2 isn't
Yeah.
real. It's got DLC.
The last, yeah, however it's called.
A
Oh,
dubious
it's me now.
Plus, I'd say Cuphead is an iconic character as well at this point.
Would you?
I would.
Yeah, he's got his own TV show.
Yes. And his own comic books and novels somehow.
I feel like we're gonna kick ourselves.
I've got it.
Unless you've got that.
I'm not excited at all. This is not to all, but this is the right room. I'm pretty sure it's Ori.
Oh no.
Oh yeah,
No, there's 3 games in there.
No.
Will of the
there's only
Wisp
two.
and Blind Forest.
Yeah, it'll be Ori in the Blind Forest. That's what I think. Shall I hit it? Shall I lock it in?
Drop
Yeah,
it. We've
go
got
on,
nothing
man.
else to go off right now. Yeah.
Is
I
it
think
Ori
that's-
in the Blind
no.
Forest?
It is Ori in the Blind Forest. And you should be excited because it's a fucking banger.
I tried playing it, I didn't like it.
Well, you gotta play it again. And now you are gonna like it.
It'll be good for Steam Deck at least. I need a game for Steam Deck.
Yeah, so I was trying. So you were close. You were close a couple of times. So with the exclusive console, Xbox is a massive indicator of what it is. Also, you're focusing way too hard on the platform inside of it, whereas it's also a Metroidvania.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Love
and it is-
Metroidvanias.
and it is a certified banger, and you're all gonna like it. I insist upon it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, no, Ori's not an animal. It is
Spirit.
described as a spirit.
Yeah. It's also on Game Pass as well, if people want to play on Game Pass.
I like it as an animal. Wait, is Ori the glowy thing, or is Ori the big bear?
Ori
The
is the
glowy
glowy thing.
Oh, okay.
I also thought it was the Big Bear when I first played it.
But yeah, no. So it's a big
Cool.
old banger. Right, cool. So just to reiterate, we gave Not For Broadcast the 6 point something score.
6.625.
625. And then the Ori and the Blind Forest review will go out in September. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You didn't have to ask this time. Until next time, we shall see you later.
Goodbye.
Bye.